Today we're going to travel back in time to 1978 and discover what life was like in the United States. Here's what you need to know before we jump into the time machine. Jimmy Carter was president and disco fever was everywhere. It was a pre-tech boom, video games were just becoming a thing, and it was a time of transition and stagflation. Alright, enough yapping. Let's jump in the machine and go.
How effective is Ban Roll-On?
I found out on vacation. I was staying with friends and ran out of my Ban Roll-On. They had Sure Aerosol, so I used it instead. It didn't keep me as dry as Ban Roll-On. I'm told Ban Roll-On keeps you drier than any leading spray, and I believe it.
Ban Roll-On. If you're using any leading spray, find out for yourself how effective Ban Roll-On is.
Clean. I mean, really clean. And it holds any set I want.
New beer-enriched shampoo, Body on Tap, gives your hair super body, super hold.
Brewed with 1/3 real beer.
Wow.
But don't drink it. Just shampoo. Whether I roll it, pin it, curl it, or blow it dry. It gives my hair super body, super hold.
And the shine of your life. It's the beer shampoo that does it in 3 bodybuilding formulas.
That's body.
On Tap.
Both of those commercials featured actresses who would later achieve a great deal of fame. Did you recognize either of them? The first ad had Mary Fran in it, who would later co-star in the CBS sitcom Newhart, and the second commercial starred a very young Kim Basinger. Yep, Vicki Vale herself. I loved her in Batman, but we're traveling to 1978 today, not 1989, so let's focus on a superhero of that era.
Wednesday, September 6th, reach into the unknown with Dr. Strange.
Do you believe in evil?
You're telling me you're a sorcerer.
Don't defy me, Stephen, or I'll take my pleasure from you in another way.
John Mills is the power of good. Jessica Walter is the power of evil, and mankind's fate hangs in the balance. Peter Hooton stars as the man in the middle, Dr. Strange. Will the forces of evil conquer the forces of good on Earth? Dr. Strange, a special 2-hour presentation. Wednesday, September 6th at 8/7 Central and Mountain.
Patties, pickle sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. You know, Big Mac keeps me coming back. At McDonald's, we do it all for you.
I remember a Big Mac costing under $1 back in 1978. It was something like 89 cents. If I walked home from junior high, I'd pass by a McDonald's, and I'd often grab a Big Mac and Coke. Of course, they weren't under $1 for long back then because inflation was almost 8%. Crazy times for sure. The minimum wage was $2.65 in 1978, and the median household income was $15,060. If you wanted to buy a new house, it would cost you approximately $55,000. And a new car was a little over $5,000. A gallon of gas averaged 63 cents a gallon, and a loaf of bread was 35 cents. A first-class stamp was just 15 cents. It had increased in May of that year from 13 cents. And overall, even with the inflation, things felt pretty darn affordable.
Come on, 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 and taste the Pepsi way. Raised up to the sky, you catch the wind, you ride it high. Come on, and have a Pepsi day. The Pepsi Generation, Pepsi Day.
Tuesday, Spider-Man returns, and it's just in time as terrorists invade a skyscraper.
This tower is under siege.
Spider-Man matches wits with a military expert who threatens to destroy the building and its VIP hostages. Spider-Man returns at 8/7 Central and Mountain.
Tomorrow on CBS.
During the latter half of the 70s, CBS seemed to be the home for Marvel comic book characters on television. Most well-known was, of course, The Incredible Hulk. But I remember a couple of Captain America movies, a Doctor Strange movie, and of course, what I'm talking about here today. This version of Spider-Man debuted in a couple of television movies starring Nicholas Hammond. Hammond was a bit old in my mind to play Peter Parker, but he wasn't my biggest gripe in terms of casting. It was Robert F. Simon who was cast as J. Jonah Jameson in the second TV movie in the series that, well, he wasn't my J. Jonah. He just didn't seem blustery enough. I needed an actor who could really project his absolute disgust for the wall crawler, and I never thought this guy could. Anyway, let me step off my J. Jonah soapbox and talk about Nicholas Hammond for just a moment. Yep, he does look familiar, and yes, he was one of the children in The Sound of Music. He wasn't a bad Peter Parker. He really wasn't. Just a bit old for the role. Anyway, getting back to your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Well, folks, without CGI and all of the cool effects that we take for granted today, the web slinger's special abilities were, to be frank, at least on this show, a little less special. The team involved in the series did their best with what they had, given the budget. They were a network TV show, but really, the web slinging, the wall crawling was all pretty lame. It's probably the reason why it would be many years before another live-action version of Spider-Man was attempted again. And that's not to say that the movies and the series weren't enjoyable. They certainly had their moments. One of my favorite was when Joanna Cameron guest starred.
When you're feeling nervous 'cause you're on your first date, when the pizza arrives and makes everything great, let yourself go to Pizza Hut. Let yourself go to Pizza Hut. When you're sharing that pizza all dipping with cheese, when you're laughing and smiling and shooting the breeze, let yourself go to Pizza Hut. Let yourself go to Pizza Hut.
Good Times and One Day at a Time will return next Monday evening at their regular times and most of these stations.
The Diet Right Cola Bill of Rights. You have the right to bear arms. And bare legs. And even bare tummies. The right to feel secure in your tight jeans. And above all, to pursue these rights, you have the right to a 1-calorie cola with real cola taste. Diet Right.
Demand your right to the taste, the real cola taste. Diet Right. Demand that 1-calorie real cola taste. Demand your right. Diet Right.
Top movies in 1978 were Grease, Superman, Animal House, and Halloween. TV shows premiering that year were Dallas, Taxi, and WKRP in Cincinnati. I'll talk more about TV shows in just a minute. And popular music, well, the big albums were the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, and for me personally, Van Halen's debut LP. And like I mentioned earlier, Space Invaders had just hit the arcades, and it was launching what would turn out to be a golden age of arcade games. I remember wasting so many quarters at our local corner market playing Space Invaders while sipping on an icy.
Do you know me? When I travel with my cats, people recognize me. But without them, they don't. So I carry the American Express card. Now airlines and shops in Germany and France all over recognize me as someone deserving first-class treatment. And believe me, it's easier to carry this than this.
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Do you remember that feller? Gunther Gable Williams was a star performer with Ringling Brothers Circus for over 20 years. He was known for his fancy costumes and incredible connection with big cats and elephants. He never missed a show for years despite numerous injuries. After retiring in 1990, he served as vice president for animal welfare, but his health declined after heart surgery and treatments for cancer, including a brain tumor that led to his passing in 2001.
When chicken's fried this light, it's crispy every bite. It's just as crispy can be. The chicken's got a certain Wessonality. Wessonality means crisp. That crispy, non-greasy taste you get when you fry chicken with Wesson oil. Look, that's crisp. That's Wessonality. The chicken's got a crispy Wessonality.
Today, we are taking a trip back in time to 1978, a year that brought us disco music, platform shoes, and some truly wonderful entertainment. Grease was dominating the box office, Blondie was topping the charts, and the first ever cellular phone call was made. But what were people watching on their TVs? Coming in at number 1 in the Nielsen ratings that year was Laverne and Shirley, a spin-off from Happy Days. This sitcom, starring Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams, focused on 2 single women working in a Milwaukee brewery. Laverne and Shirley was full of unique and fun characters, hilarious situations, and most importantly, a whole lot of heart. Number 2 that year was Three's Company. This wacky sitcom about 3 roommates, 2 women, and a guy pretending to be gay pushed boundaries and kept audiences in stitches. In the number 3 spot was Mork & Mindy. This sci-fi sitcom gave us Robin Williams as an alien from Ork. It was a show full of wacky humor and heartwarming moments. And did I mention that it was another spin-off from Happy Days? Speaking of that show, it was still going strong in 1978 and was number 4 in the Nielsen ratings. This nostalgic sitcom about a group of teenagers in the 1950s offered up what Gary Marshall did best with all of his sitcoms: lighthearted fun and occasional moments that just tugged at your heart. And of course, the cast of that show, led by Ron Howard and Henry Winkler, well, they were truly something special. Bit of a surprise for me is the number 5 show for the year, Angie. Technically, this show was actually tied for number 4 with Happy Days during the 1978 TV season, but since that show ultimately lasted much longer than this one, we're giving it the higher position. Believe it or not, all of the top 5 shows during that television season were on ABC. I guess it's also important to mention that while Angie was part of the 1978 TV season, it didn't actually premiere until early '79 because it was a mid-season replacement program. Regardless, it was truly a golden moment for the network. And let's not forget some of the other notable shows that were popular in 1978. Little House on the Prairie, Dallas, Battlestar Galactica, The Incredible Hulk. Not as popular, but a show that I really loved was the TV adaptation of Logan's Run, starring Gregory Harrison, Heather Menzies, and Donald Moffat. I really wanted to see this show do well, but alas, audiences did not flock to it. While not a regular series, 1978 also brought us the Star Wars Holiday Special. This one-time television special featured the original cast and introduced us to Chewbacca's family and the Wookiee holiday Life Day. It was a bizarre and campy special that included weird comedy bits by Art Carney, Harvey Korman, and Golden Girl B. Arthur. Not to mention a post-facial surgery Mark Hamill looking a bit like Luke Skywalker, but not quite. As much as George Lucas would like everyone to forget this thing, it's a valuable piece of Star Wars history to be cherished and celebrated, even with its many, many flaws. And speaking about wanting to forget something, there was a long period of time where Kiss wanted nothing to do with their 1978 television movie. These days, however, they embrace the wackiness of this Hanna-Barbera production that is a must-watch for any member of the Kiss Army. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot to mention that 1978 was the year that 7 wacky castaways were finally rescued. Yep, no doubt about it, 1978 was a fantastic year for television. From laugh-out-loud comedies to heartwarming dramas to science fiction, epic adventures, there truly was something for everyone.
We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony, a day of joy we all can share together joyously, a day that takes us through the darkness, a day that leads us into light, a day
to laugh, to dream, to grow, to trust, to love, to
When I'm assigned to shoot a guy like John Newcomb, I pack my Canon AE-1 with several lenses because I'm after more than just John's form. Creativity means capturing his intensity.
You try, John.
Me?
Sure.
The AE-1 is so simple, you can really concentrate on your subject. About all you do is focus and click.
The surprisingly affordable Canon AE-1. So advanced, it's simple. Canon, the official photographic consultant to the U.S. Open Tennis Championship.
I guess I should probably talk about some of the headlines that shook the world during 1978 before we jet back to present day. Thinking back to 1978, there was a historic peace brokered between Egypt and Israel. There was the Jonestown Massacre in 1978, where more than 900 people died in that tragedy. And in San Francisco, Mayor George Moscone and Harvey Milk were assassinated. And it was the year of 3 popes. We had Paul VI die. There was John Paul I, who was only pope for 33 days. And then John Paul II was elected. And to cap off the news with a happier headline, Fred Rogers was still doing his thing over on PBS.
You are special.
You didn't have to do it, but you did. So thank you very much for your support, for your support, for your support. Thank you very much for your support.
Click on that thumbnail cause it's time to go. Dave's got the classics, let the memories flow. TV shows and movies that we all hold so dear. On his YouTube channel he's keeping memories near. Dave Sundstrom, bringing back the good stuff, oh yeah.